Hi friends! I'm very excited about this video because I'm sure that very often you're wondering, okay, I took 10 pictures, they look so much alike, but which one or which few I can keep and the rest of them I can probably delete them? Because I know that a lot of us, we're struggling from the same problem. We have too many pictures. And of course, yes, they go to the cloud or they go to Google Photo, but then at the end of the day, still, I have a lot of pictures, and one of my students, in fact, she had even 90,000 pictures. I know, right? A lot. So let's dive in. There is a saying, look for your choice, pick the best one, then go with it. And this is so true. So very often people ask me, Vasi, how do you pick your pictures? And I suggest, so again, doesn't matter, do you have an iPhone, do you have an Android? The idea is that when you take multiple pictures, what I do, even in my regular photography business, is that I go through them and I just try to mark the ones I like. Typically, for iPhone, I'm going to mark them as favorite. And then I will put them in a folder. And there I will just go back and forth between my favorite pictures and try to narrow them down and keep the best. So again, you may not need to create a folder. You may just want to keep them in your phone, but again, some people, it's either keep the best or delete the ones you don't like. And again, you're probably going to say, but Vasi, I'm emotionally untouched. I love my babies. And I know that. But don't forget, even if you delete them, until you really go and clean, the trash of your phone or the trash of your, cloud, they probably are going to be still there. But of course, before you decide to do this, just kind of go and, do the exercise, test it out and make sure that, you have the right settings on your phone. But I know for mine, with my iPhone, when I delete them, they will go to the trash in my phone. And then when I go there, I'm actually going to delete them from there and they will be stored in the cloud trash for about, 30 days. So this is something definitely to keep in mind. But yes, it's the two options. It's either keep the favorite, go through them and narrow them down, or delete the ones you don't like, and that's how you're going to narrow them down. And just go a few times, and that's how you're going to pick. So, you can see, and sometimes it's very simple. As I mentioned a lot of times, picture in the picture, like this one and this one is the same, but just because I cropped it in vertical instead of being horizontal and removed the distraction, it became a really beautiful picture. And all of them, they are nice, and that's why I kept them. But believe me, there were some of them which they weren't too nice for sure. And we struggle, we definitely struggle. Pick the right photo. Sometimes it's so hard. We have 10, 20, 30 pictures and they're so similar. And my clients ask me, but Vasi, they look the same. And I'm like, oh, no. Here you can see the smile, the eyes, maybe the tail or the paw, or here your baby looks stronger, the lighting. There's so many different factors to keep in mind. And that's why, and I'm excited because I can share with you. So, what to look for in a good photograph. Of course, definitely it's going to be the background. Of course, it's going to be the lighting, the posing, and to try to avoid distractions. And you can see, closed eyes. Here I can see the left eye. Practically, I can even see the bow tie as well. There are definitely so many things to keep in mind. It's overwhelming, but believe me, when you practice and practice, it becomes a second nature. And again, I encourage you, maybe take a screenshot or just post 5 pictures in the group and let's see them. Let me help you make this much easy. But even if you look the picture on the top left, yes, of course, obviously we can see the eyes, but look at the ears, right? Look at the bow tie. Look at this here. The the hair in front of the eyes and so many things. I mean, those two, I took them one after each other, but I edited them different. And again, both of them are fantastic. And it's okay if the baby doesn't look in the camera. Still, it looks really great. But so that's it. It's background, lighting, posing, and to try to avoid the distraction. So I would separate it under 3 categories. It's going to be the head position, the body, and also the tail. And by tail, but you know what? If you're there, depending of the position would make your baby look stronger or happier or sad. The same applies with the body. We want our babies to look really strong in the pictures. And head, head, very, very important, right? And again, head, body, and tail. So I picked this picture because there are so many things. You can see the ears, the faces, you can see the paws. You can see, here tail, no tail. So there's so many things you have to keep in mind and just really definitely consider in your pictures. And you can see here, there are a lot of babies, even if they look similar, but not really, and that's why we have to be aware in being able to recognize the elements to help us a little bit, because we know, it's the hardest thing. It's to pick the best pictures of our babies, because of course we love them. They are perfect, and they are perfect. But again, we cannot keep 500 pictures. And the very common scenario, we are with family members. I understand the situation now, but overall, and you want to show your babies, and then you will go through 1,000 pictures to find one. And that's why I suggest create an individual folder and keep, let's say, from every session, keep the best two. And every time when you take pictures of your baby, just keep the best you. The same can apply maybe with your portraits, just with things that are very important. So this way, dear friends, every time when you need a quick access, you just simply go there and simply just give them, you can show the pictures. So it's very easy. And so for the face, face, we think is just face, but no, look at this. We have that face, and we have to try to avoid the hair in the eyes, depending of if your pet has a short fur or it has longer fur. Also, some breeds, and depending of their colors, they may have redness around the eyes. Like my doggy, he's a Chihuahua, so Chico, unfortunately, he has redness. Sometimes Malteses or Poodles, or just really kind of, Shih Tzus. Be aware, dear friends. I have seen it, including in kitty cats. So, how do we avoid this? If your babies has a longer fur and it needs to be groomed, again, here comes everything up to the person, how to fix the problem or just leave it be, or maybe this is part of their characters. I had clients that would say, oh yeah, it's very normal. The fur of my Yorkie, it's always in front of his eyes or her eyes. Or sometimes they will use, hair clips, or sometimes, you can use water to kind of just smooth them for the picture. Some people use also hairspray, some groomers. For the eye stain, I showed you how sometimes you can edit them, right? You can also use, I had a client of mine, she used cornstarch, and again, you may not feel comfortable with this, so this is completely up to you. What would you like to use? And it may work, it may not work, because every baby is different, but definitely to keep in mind. Also, ears. Ears are very important. You can see ears for sure. Some babies, their ears are up. Sometimes one of them is slightly down. Sometimes one of them is probably pointing at the direction where it's hearing different noises. So just be aware in the ears. Also, mouth. Is your baby's mouth open? Is it slightly open? Is the tongue showing a little bit? Is the tongue hanging from one of the sides? And it may not be only during the summer when they are warm. It's just because probably this is part of their personality. So those are the things to keep in mind. Also, they're nosy. Very often, some babies, they have a fur in front of their nose. And you're probably okay with that, but sometimes I actually try to kind of take it away, just because I personally, prefer not to have them in my porches. But again, Again, every baby is different. And even if you have one baby, or maybe you have four. I mean, I had a client with 7. I heard for a lady she had 10. It's completely up to you. But just what are your priorities? What is your mindset? What would really, when you see this picture, make you smile? Because this is your baby. This is up to you. And very quick also, I wanted to talk about this picture. So this was the original photo. Of course, you can see I'm definitely on the floor. So I had a lot of shoes. I didn't really like it. I was seeing the bottom of my couch in the studio. Here, I cropped it in, right? So you can either zoom in or when you're taking and cropping the photo, but then you use a little bit of resolution. Here, then I went a little even closer to the baby. So this one is between here, again, not my favorite. And, this one also, I changed slightly my angle, but this is fantastic. So you can see, it's me and my mommy. I'm chilling because my mommy is around. And I think that, that's really amazing. To me, this one here and actually this one are fantastic. I also like this one as well. So really, really great. So here again, look at the face, look at the fur. I mean, of course, here comes in place the exposure, it comes in place white balance, distraction on the background. So there's so many things happening in those 4 pictures. It's a lot. And you can see even on the first and the second, the baby looks completely different just because of the lighting and just because of the face expression. If I have to pick one, to be honest with you, maybe it's going to be this one. And only because I know that I can edit the image. So the way I'm going to edit the picture is that I'm going to remove this fur if possible. I'm going to brighten the picture. Change a little bit maybe because when I brighten it, the colors are going to change. So I'm going maybe to change a little bit the white balance, and definitely I'm going to crop in. So practically I would like this picture slightly to look like this one. The only reason why I'm not picking this one is because this fur, it's really too much of a distraction. But I like the lighting in the eyes. So it depends if this one I can fix it or not. Otherwise, I'm probably going to convert it in black and white. I like this one, but again, the left eye, we call this camera left, so it's our left. It's a little smaller than the other one, so that's why I will make sure that's why I'm picking the left one, but also this one has a lot of potential. So here you can see the same picture, but again, I was further away. Then I changed a little bit the lighting and my angle. Then I went a little closer, and then I went a little closer even. More. But I like it. I think this is really great. I probably can edit it a little more, and that's how it looked the best. Here, this is Gigi. And so Gigi, she is really cute. She was in the middle of the day. Again, you can see. So this is really nice. I took the picture on a portrait mode. This is a regular picture. And you can see the huge difference. So I really actually love this one. Here she said, "Oh, I don't care about you, Vasi, because you're not my mommy." So here it was beautiful. It is a nice picture, but then the nose is slightly different. It's kind of pointing a little more on the camera, right? So didn't like it. This is funny. It is definitely funny, but then I feel that the tongue is too big. So, I wish if the tongue was on the nose, then it could look really interesting. And then honestly, this is my favorite picture. So if I had to pick one, definitely will be the middle. You can see the body looks really strong. The eyes are fantastic. The nose, the ears, so beautiful. So I would pick this one here, and I would pick probably the first one. If I had to pick one, definitely bottom, middle, but otherwise those two are my favorite. And this one again, the fur, it's fine because it was windy, as you can even see on the top of ones, and I can see the red pictures. So that's why, this is how I personally think. So to be honest with you, in this picture, yes, we talk about head, chest area, legs and tail. I really love this image. It is hanging in my quiet home as a big art piece, and it's fantastic. So look at first of all the head position. It's really great. You have beautiful eyes. The tongue shows more the personality of the baby. The chest looks incredible, so strong. The legs are really good. And I know I can see only the 3 legs, but I know by default that the 4th one is there. Great composition, great lighting and everything else. The fur, it's really good. Even, in fact, was pretty windy that day. But you can see, so head, chest area, legs and tail. I think I have done a good job, but it's not because I did it. It's just because this is a really strong portrait, because I was able to recognize to keep it. That's what it is. Again, head, chest, legs and tail. I know you have seen this picture, but that's why I picked it again, because I wanted to show you that when you look at the pictures, you not only look about the body language, about the exposure, about the color harmony, about the 10 elements which are implemented in this picture. I mean, not all of them, but some of them. So there's so many criteria to make for a photograph to stand out and to be kept and maybe to be printed, hopefully. So you can see ears, fantastic ears. Nosy, great. Tongue, great. Eyes, wonderful. Chest, great. Tail, great. So everything what you could ask for, it's implemented in this picture for the size and the breed, and overall for every doggy. Because I don't know if you know, but German Shepherds, that's why they use them so often for canines. Every time when they hear a noise, they actually turn one of their ear towards the area where they can hear this noise. It happens with, of course, our babies as well, but especially for German Shepherd, it's more defined. Again, this one, you can see it can happen to everyone. Again, this is for training purposes. So it's not only the lighting, but because the person who was taking the picture, the mommy, she was taking the picture from this angle again. There it's lens distortion. So now her belly looks bigger than it is in real life. So how could I avoid this? It's just simply through changing my angle and being a little more above her. But then, of course, I have to be aware and be careful to don't make a shadow with my body, to be careful with my feet. You want to step on the chair, but then your safety comes first. But those are the things to keep in mind. This picture, you have repetition in the shapes. But the question is, her eyes are halfway closed. So definitely not to this one. This one here, now you can see, the mommy took the picture from the back. But again, now the back looks still bigger than it is in real life because of the lens distortion. I mean, this is really great, which in fact, it's similar to this one, but I fixed a tiny little bit the lighting. Here it's still the face a little too dark. Again, what to keep in mind is to try to avoid the haze, to be careful with the cowering, and also to be careful with the exposure. Now, those are really some of the pictures I took, and I look at this one. Okay, I look at this background. Too much, distraction. I mean, yes, this, area looks bigger. I like the eyes, I like the ears, but too much. I cannot fix it. The kitty cat, it's cropped, so it doesn't really give me a lot to the picture. So this one, it's cute. Probably I can edit it a little extra. I can see the eyes and etc. So, all right, maybe it's a keeper. This one, I like it, but again, the chest area doesn't look too strong. It's just because I feel that, it's leaning a little more forward. I kind of like this one, but look at this one versus this one. I definitely will go with this one. And the reason why is because the baby in both pictures, she's looking away, but here you can see because of the lighting, because of the face position, because of the nose position, the lighting, the bow tie to the photo. It's just so dreamy. And I know it tells the story. I know that it's looking at her mommy. And this is the key. It's not only the elements in the picture, it's also the story to the pictures, right? So this one, I think it's great. I love it. And I definitely like this one more versus this one. Here, it's definitely beautiful lighting. This one also, it's nice. But if I had to keep photos, I'll definitely keep this one, and I kind of like this one. So I would keep 3 from all of those. Here, a lot of people are asking me, but Vasi, what is haze? Well, haze practically, it's when the picture is not too defined. Haze can also happen like when you're outside and the sun is coming from the back. And that's why, and then you can see that, nothing is really too clear. The way we can overcome this, of course, a few ways you can add more contrast to the picture. Simply try to change your angle and also your baby angle. So the idea is that the light is coming through the lens and then the camera doesn't know what to do. And again, doesn't matter your phone camera, your regular camera, just the phone. It's confused. Too much light. What I'm going to do here? What settings do you like me to do? Graphed, here on the top, after the shades were open, now it's so much better, right? Which one would you pick? I definitely would go with the left. But again, it's here too much distraction in the background. But still, it's okay. Again, it's more this time it's about to show you the haze in this picture. Coloring, very different. Exposure, it's so different in this picture. Face-wise, this one, it's obviously very blurry. And nothing you can do. I think that the phone practically did focus on the left side versus on the right. So, technically could be different. But again, here it's more about how to recognize and avoid the haze, how to recognize and see the coloring, that it's different, and to change the exposure. Here, again, you can have a picture, and as long as you recognize that this picture has a lot of potential, then it's easier. Just because with a proper editing, you can definitely make a picture stand out. And you can see this is one of our students' image. And it's the same photo, but just simply with adding contrast, adding sharpness, changing a little bit the exposure. And that's how the picture definitely, I picked the right one. And also when you're editing, when you're picking pictures, of course, you have the benefit of knowing your babies, but make sure that it looks as realistic as possible. And then you remember, you can have the same 2 phones, the same 2 cameras or computers with very different colors. So here, to keep in mind the exposure, sometimes, again, the truth is that for some reason, I think that what happened today is that in my studio, because it's dark, and then my computer has different colors, so my phone probably was on night settings, and so the picture completely different. So this is what my computer saw, and this is what my phone saw. And you can see, so you're editing, but you don't really know what your friends and family, when you share the picture with them, are going to see. And it's very simple. Otherwise, the baby, it's really nice. I wish there was a way. So if I have to really fix this picture, I would try to remove this piece of hair, only if possible. I would try to remove this, and just I would try to make, the background kind of blurry, and just be able to focus more on the doggy. So here again, a session in the studio. So, she was very tired. And I started first with this one, which I think that it became really nice, but it was more from the body. Of course, I chopped, unfortunately, her paw. So then I took another one, but because she moved and I was in a portrait mode, the picture came up blurry. So this one here, I made sure that I press and I focus on her face, which now, of course, looks so much better. And now this one, much better, because I can definitely see her face. But again, the background, it's very, it's a lot of distractions going on. And then this one, honestly, is the best. So if I had to pick, I would pick this one here and I would pick this one here. The only reason why I wouldn't pick this one here is because I see that the right eye, this eye looks a little closed, and that's why I wouldn't pick it. So here, this is Alistair. It's my sister kitty cat, and so I saw him one Sunday afternoon. He was having fun on the chair working on Sunday, and so first of all he looked down. Then he looked up, which I kind of really liked. Of course, there was some lens distortion, but I said, whatever, it looks cute. So then, he did this, which I kind of really liked. But then really the picture was very crooked. But if I had to pick, I would probably pick those two. So then I changed my position and I said, I like it being in a different angle, but I really kind of like this much better. It has a lot of dynamic, and it says, you see, you have the leading lines and, have really a lot of nice things happening. So then I really like this picture too, because I was able to partially avoid this angle through cropping, and I was able to focus more on the eyes. And then look at this one, definitely beautiful. So the question is, which one do you like the most? That's again personal choice. I only know that I wouldn't keep this one for sure, would remove it. Not crazy about this one probably, but still would keep it because it's full body and I don't have another full body. And then so keep this one and maybe this one here. Then it's up to you if you like to keep any of those. So again, we take pictures with us and our babies, and you can see this was the first one here. It was too dark. I was able to see from his beard. I had a little spot here, and she was very dark. I couldn't see her eyes. So then I slightly changed my position. I overexposed from the phone before I pressed the button. Then I can see this bright area here. And then later on, I couldn't see the eyes. And then I changed to portrait mode. And this is the final picture I picked, which I think it's really great. It tells the story about him holding her. I darkened with dark vignette. I kind of cropped the body a little bit because it's more about the relationship between her and her daddy, being able to see her dark eyes. And then this one, I didn't really like it. So here, again, you can see they're very different. Again, out of focus a little bit because they're moving. A lot of distraction on the background. Honestly, this one is the best. Nice eyes. Yeah, of course, I may not be able to see her second eye, but just there is the catch light, nice face. The body it's cropped, so it's okay. I don't see all of these covers. So definitely the top one. Here the ears don't look really good. She doesn't look too confident, and here she looks kind of confused. Kind of worried. So from all those 4 pictures, definitely I would pick the top right. And now looking at it, I probably would actually crop it in more as a vertical picture, like 8x10 cropping, and just remove some of the background. And again, here I just wanted to show you most of the picture now so we can see. Close eyes, this ear, the bow tie. Our eyes are open. These were a little more open like the left picture, but again, when you have multiple subjects, you kind of pick the best. So it's kind of a happy medium. Both of them look really good. This one here looks nice, but he looks very confused because of his ear. I liked this one here, but then the problem was that the ear was going out from the blanket, and I wanted to actually be able to not have to edit. And so then I still picked this one here, and then I was able to edit it. So that's how they think. Again, Gigi. So this is where first I took the picture, and then the ones I showed you earlier were on the second place. So she looks confused, too much distraction. This is on regular mode. Here, now she looks better. Here, definitely, it's not liking that. Then I changed it to portrait mode and I zoomed in a little better. The coloring is better. Here she's looking away. This could work, but I just don't like the picture. It's a little blurry, but she could be looking at this rock, so tells a story. And then, I have this one here, which probably is the best. So I probably would keep maybe this one here. Probably this one, if I crop it to change the exposure, it would tell the story that she's looking at me. So I want to thank you, dear friends, for your time. I hope that now you have a little more clarity.